The sun peeked through the curtains on a crisp October morning, casting golden rays across the room and gently waking Claire from her dreams. The air was cool and fresh, hinting at the promise of a new day filled with possibility. As the sunlight danced on the walls, Claire stretched and smiled, feeling the excitement bubble up inside her. Today wasn't just any day, it was the day she'd been planning for weeks, her long-awaited hiking adventure. The gentle warmth of the morning sun made everything seem brighter, and Claire felt a sense of energy she hadn't felt in a while. She knew this was the perfect morning to set out and explore. Claire Holt woke up with a huge smile, knowing today was her big hiking adventure. She jumped out of bed, laced up her old trusty boots and grabbed her packed backpack. Every item she packed felt like a piece of her excitement. Her favorite water bottle, a camera to capture memories, and a notebook for jotting down thoughts along the way. Map, compass, snacks, she was ready for anything. She double-checked her gear, making sure nothing was left behind. The anticipation of the unknown made her heart race a little faster. The sky outside was a perfect, cloudless blue. Claire felt like a real explorer, ready to discover new trails. She took a deep breath of fresh, pine-scented air and grinned, imagining the adventures that awaited her beyond the familiar streets of her neighborhood. With a nod in the mirror, ponytail bouncing, she stepped outside. The world felt like a giant playground waiting for her. Every step she took was filled with hope and curiosity. Her adventure was officially beginning, and she couldn't have been happier. The air was cool, the morning bright, everything felt possible. Claire set off down the trail, heart full of excitement. With each stride, she felt more alive, ready to embrace whatever the day would bring. Today was going to be unforgettable, and she was determined to make the most of every moment. An hour into her hike, Claire was loving every moment. She watched a squirrel chase a nut and a bluebird sing. The sun warmed her face as she wandered through peaceful green woods. Suddenly, the light faded, clouds gathered, darker and bigger than before. The air turned chilly, and the forest grew quiet. Claire glanced up, uneasy. The sky was changing fast, gray clouds rolling in like a giant blanket. The wind picked up, whispering warnings through the trees. The perfect day was about to get a stormy twist. Claire stopped, feeling the tension in the air. The forest, once friendly, now seemed to hold its breath. Thunder rumbled in the distance. The adventure was about to take an unexpected turn. Claire braced herself, heart pounding. The storm was coming. The first cold raindrop landed on Claire's nose, a warning. Then another, and another, until the sky unleashed a downpour. Her hair was soaked, her mood dampened. Thunder rumbled closer, lightning flashed, and the trail turned slippery. Claire's heart raced. She'd always been nervous about storms. The forest felt dark and unfamiliar. Lightning lit up the sky, thunder crashed. Claire was officially scared. She knew running was dangerous, but standing still wasn't safe either. She had to think fast. The rain poured, thunder boomed, and she needed a plan. Claire took a shaky breath, trying to calm herself. She scanned the woods for shelter. The adventure had become a real challenge. She wasn't just exploring, she was surviving. Claire steadied herself, determined to stay safe. She remembered, be smart, not just brave. It was time to act. Claire remembered not to shelter under tall trees. She knew that lightning often strikes the tallest object around, and trees, especially when wet, could be dangerous conductors. The wind whipped around her, carrying the sharp scent of rain and ozone, and she felt exposed in the open. She searched for something low and safe, scanning the landscape for any place that might offer protection. The rain was coming down harder now, soaking her hair and clothes, making it difficult to see clearly. Through the sheets of rain, she spotted a cluster of large rocks off the path, half hidden by wild grass and moss. They looked sturdy, unmoving, and offered hope in the storm. It wasn't a cave, but it was a small, sheltered nook, just big enough for her to squeeze into and stay mostly dry. The rocks formed a natural barrier against the wind and rain. She hurried over, careful on the muddy ground, her boots slipping slightly as she made her way. Every step was cautious. As the earth had turned slick and treacherous beneath her feet, inside she crouched down, finally out of the rain. The sound of water hitting stone was all around her, but she was shielded from the worst of it. The storm's roar was muffled in her rocky hideout, the thunder now a distant rumble instead of a deafening crash. She could hear her own breathing, quick and shallow. Claire felt a little safer, heart still pounding from the dash. She pressed her back against the cool stone, trying to calm herself, grateful for even this small comfort. She took off her wet backpack and sat on a dry patch, wringing water from her sleeves. The shelter wasn't perfect, but it was enough to keep her from the worst of the storm. She'd made a smart choice. She was thinking, not panicking. She reminded herself that staying calm was just as important as finding shelter. Lightning flashed, thunder boomed, but she was protected. The world outside seemed wild and dangerous, but in her little nook, she felt a fragile sense of security. Watching the storm from her shelter, she felt awe and fear mingling inside her. The power of nature was overwhelming, but she was safe for now, able to witness it from a place of relative comfort. She hugged her knees, shivering but safe, feeling the adrenaline slowly ebb away. The cold seeped in, but she was grateful for the protection the rocks provided. The storm raged outside, wind howling and rain lashing the earth, but Claire had found her refuge. She listened to the chaos, knowing she'd made the right decision. That was what mattered most. She was safe, and she could wait out the storm with a little more peace in her heart. In her rocky shelter, Claire faced her fear. The wind howled around her, rattling the stones and sending shivers down her spine. She hugged her knees to her chest, heart pounding as the storm raged outside. Every instinct told her to run, but there was nowhere safer to go. The thunder was loud, the lightning bright, but she stayed put. Each flash illuminated the jagged landscape, and every rumble seemed to shake the earth beneath her. Yet, Claire held her ground, determined not to let her fear control her. She counted seconds between lightning and thunder, tracking the storm's distance. With each count, she felt a little more in control, using knowledge to calm her nerves. It became a game, a way to measure safety and distract herself from panic. It gave her something to focus on, turning fear into curiosity. She wondered about the science behind storms, about how far away the lightning really was, and how nature could be both beautiful and terrifying at once. She checked her backpack. Her snacks and towel were dry. She felt a surge of relief, knowing she had what she needed to wait out the storm. Her careful packing now felt like an act of self-care. Grateful for her preparation, she dried her face and took a sip of water. The simple comforts of a towel and a drink steadied her, reminding her that she could take care of herself, even in the wild. Being prepared wasn't about expecting trouble, but being ready for it. Claire realized that her planning gave her confidence, and that confidence helped her stay calm when things got tough. Claire realized she was stronger than she thought. She felt a new sense of empowerment, knowing she could face challenges head-on. She'd stayed calm, found shelter, and kept herself safe. Each small decision had added up, showing her that bravery was built one step at a time. Bravery, she learned, wasn't the absence of fear. It was acting despite it. Even with her heart racing, she chose to stay, to think, and to trust herself. The storm was powerful, but so was she. The wild energy of the sky seemed to echo her own inner strength, and she felt a connection to the world around her. She felt a quiet pride in her resilience. The storm outside was fierce, but inside, she was calm and steady, proud of how far she'd come. Claire waited, patient and alert, as the storm raged on. She listened to the rain, watched the flashes, and knew she could handle whatever came next. She was scared, but she was also brave. The two feelings lived side by side, and that was okay. In that moment, she discovered her own strength. She realized that courage could grow in the most unexpected places, even in the heart of a storm. And that was a lesson she'd never forget, a lesson about facing fear, trusting herself, and finding bravery within. Eventually, the thunder faded, and the rain slowed to a drizzle. Light broke through the clouds, and the world sparkled with raindrops. Claire peeked out from her shelter, breathing in the fresh, clean air. The forest was transformed, peaceful, glistening, and new. Birds began to sing again, tentatively at first. Claire stretched her legs and stepped out, feeling relief and gratitude. The sun peeked through, casting golden rays through the trees. The place that had felt scary was now beautiful again. She had survived the storm and felt changed. She glanced back at her rocky refuge, thankful for its protection. With a lighter heart, she started down the muddy trail. The world was calm, and so was she. Every step felt like a victory. Claire walked on, stronger than before. By the time Claire reached her car, the sun was shining bright. The sky was blue, the storm just a memory. Her adventure hadn't gone as planned, but it was real and unforgettable. She'd learned you can't control everything, but you can choose how to respond. Sometimes the best adventures are the ones that surprise you. Claire felt a new, deeper happiness. Proud, strong, and capable. She'd faced fear and found courage. That feeling was better than any view. As she drove home, windows down, she smiled at her own bravery. The sunset painted the sky in brilliant colors. Claire knew she'd never forget this day. She was still Claire who loved hiking, but now, she was also Claire the brave. And after every storm, the sun shines even brighter.